Hello, gems. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Gems, y'all got the underworld, the mirror, the warrior, the heart, and the prayer. Gems. I just feel like, well, super irritated, honestly. But I think that it's just coming from this idea of like just these fractured ideas. You know what I mean? And I kind of just feel like saying to you, take what resonates and leave the rest. But I just kind of, and you can be on either side of the story also. But I just kind of feel this idea of like if you don't allow for people to speak their piece, right? Like if you're like, only these people are allowed to have a say, which is just what I feel like is happening right now. Again, you know, like this could be a work situation, this could be with friends, this could be with family, I don't know. But it's like, I just feel like this idea of like only allowing certain people to have a say, right? Like, and this kills me when anyone does this, because it's not just a gym thing, but like, well, I mean, it's just kind of this idea of like, well, I'm friends with this person, so I'm only going to listen to what they say. And while they talk shit about somebody, and I get the feeling that there is almost this, and this again might not play out for all of my gems, but I do know a couple of gems that this would play out for in different ways. But it's just kind of this idea that, like, say you only let one person talk, and you're the middle person in this, right? Like, you know both sides of the parties, and you know this person and you know this person, but you're only allowing one person to have a voice in something that is going on that you're the middleman of. And I feel like the reason you're the middleman is because you don't allow for there to be any communication, right? I don't know how that would play out individually for everyone, but that's just what it feels like. You know, like if you're at work and it's like there's somebody on your team who's like, maybe they're on a different shift, or they're, you know, like they're in a different department or something like that. And there's somebody who just keeps fucking up your shit, and you go and you complain, and then this person starts running off about things that they don't even know. And yet they say speak against this person, because it's the first person who speaks is usually the one who's perceived as innocent, right? Because to just not engage is to immediately be presumed guilty. And so I feel like there's this idea of somebody just running off at the mouth and you being in the middle, and this person who's running off at the mouth doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? They're just trying to cover their own tracks. And so it's just kind of like one of those things where, for whatever reason, I just get the feeling that it's triggering you, or it's triggering the other person, because it's like, one, like, why would you only listen to this person when they're talking about something that they don't even know anything about? Like, that's my area of expertise. Like, what are you even talking about right now? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this point of conflict. And I almost feel like the motivation behind it is because there's a fear that what this person is saying, whoever it is that's just like, I feel like creating this falsified story, is somebody who stands to lose something if this person is heard out. And so in an attempt to not lose, they're going to try and steal. And I think that it, like, everyone's really triggered by it. I feel like this person is really triggered. I feel like you're really triggered. And I feel like that person's really triggered, but everyone's triggered for different reasons. And not everyone has a legitimate reason for being triggered. Do you know what I mean? Maybe no one has a legitimate reason to be triggered. I don't even know. But that's the story that I'm feeling right now. It just feels very like petty and irritating. It's irritated. That's what I said. I was like, I feel so irritated right now. Okay, so the prayer in the heart. I mean, the prayer is the idea of like manifestation, right? Like this is what you really want. This is what you ask for. This is what you pray for. You know, this is what you're focusing your energy into. And I think that, you know, like the heart is just the idea of like, home is where the heart is. And for a lot of my gems, honestly, I do feel like maybe this is like a relationship. I don't know, like if it's like like one of those things where it's like, well, we're just friends, and then somebody else is like, you can't be friends with them because da 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 da. Like I feel like, is there anybody who hasn't been in one of those situations, where just like people are just jealous for no reason, and you're like, yo, I just love this person because they're my friend, they're my family, like chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, but I just kind of feel like it's one of those types of situations. And I feel like the question is, what is it that you really want? Because if you would just honor your truth and acknowledge, I think, like the truth behind the motivations of the people that you're dealing with, I feel like the reason you feel so triggered is because you know that it's like, that's not all true. Like whatever this person is saying, they're taking half truths and they're twisting them and they're trying to drive a wedge between you and another person. And then the other person is like, yo, like, I thought you were my friend. Like, why are you doing me like this right now? Like, why, like, in what world is this okay? I mean, other than like super petty, low level, no emotional intelligence type of people. But you know what I mean? Like, but if that's the case, do you not see what I see here? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of that energy. Gems. I don't really like have any people in my life who are gems anymore. I don't really count my ex-husband because, I don't know. He doesn't even speak to me, so whatever. The Tower, the Ace of Cups, the Devil. Yeah, it does, because it just feels like somebody in this situation is just being manipulative and telling half-truths and making shit up, and I kind of get the feeling that, again, it's just this idea of like, listen, like, we all know what's going on here, and you don't have to admit it if you don't want to, but don't drag other people down in it. And I feel like that's basically like what is going on here, is just kind of like, if that's the kind of life you want to live, my man, like my ladies, like if that's how you want it to be, cool. But I feel like you're having to really face your fears because, I just feel like, this has to end. And like, I don't know what your motivation is. I don't understand your motivation if for no other reason than like, why do you cling to low level energy? I guess would be the question. But I kind of get the feeling, again, honestly, I feel like somebody else just was like, no, like, I'll just exit left here because this is not my life. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be a low level person, if you want to roll around in the filth, if you want to live a life of half truths because you're clinging on to something, thinking that that's that grand prize for you, like, okay, you enjoy that prize. You know what I mean? And I think somebody just kind of like walking away and being done with it, because why fuck with that manipulation? And I get the feeling that what's happening here is that you are making a decision to like move away from that low level energy, because this is very, like taking the good and going, like getting an offer, to go in a new direction. These are all pentacles. So it could be that you're like this is like a work situation, you know what I mean? But like things got weird at work because you worked with somebody. Oh yeah, that would work, right? Like you work with somebody and you see this person every day and you're friends with them because you work with them. So like obvs, you know what I mean? And then like your significant other is like all up in their like shit because you made a friend at work that's somebody who they feel threatened by. Do you know what I mean? Like it just like that's what that feels like. And I feel like you're getting an opportunity to just kind of like let that go and move forward, like in this direction with somebody. And it does kind of feel like it's a new, I don't know, for some of you, it could just be that you're moving into a new community, right? Maybe you stay in that low level energy and you just think that if you move it somewhere else, it'll change, but then it doesn't. But for my gems, I feel like, no, I feel like what you're doing is you're realizing that like that's low level energy and that will limit you in your pursuit of anything. You know what I mean? Like, because again, people who are like actual friends with their significant others, you can tell because it's like, who do you want to hang out with no matter what? Your best friend. You know what I mean? And so if you're dating your best friend, then you get along. And if there are new people who come around, you're like, oh, dope, some variety, because we could always use a little variety in life. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just such a high level of insecurity that's coming from this other person that it's just like, I don't know. I just feel irritated by it, you know? And I feel like you're making a decision to go in a new direction. That I think you were a little bit afraid of going in before, but I think that it's going to offer you an opportunity to be I just want to say, like, to be in a healthy relationship, like a new healthy relationship that enables you to have a larger community. Because when you're dealing with people who are super insecure, they don't enjoy having community, or they only enjoy super low level, really insecure people where they can all manipulate each other and talk shit about each other. And do you know what I mean? Like those types of people, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think that that's what you want, because I don't think that these people challenge you intellectually. I don't think that they challenge you spiritually. I don't think that they challenge you emotionally. I just feel like you're bored, which is why you're irritated, you know? Gems. Let's see what else we can get for y'all. The Devil and the Shadow Dance. Yeah. Because I do, again, I kind of get this feeling of like you allowing for someone to like lord their power and push people out of your life. You know what I mean? Because if they can't tell you what to do, then they'll move things around. This is why I cannot, it's like, oh, they'll do everything in their power to situate things. You know what I mean? To like make things go a certain way so that they can throw shit in a partial way and create a divide, like that wedge, right? And you know what this person is doing, and you've let them do it anyway. Or you knew what this group of people was doing, and you let them do it anyway. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just this idea of like, while you were over here playing puppet master with all these fucking puppets, you were watching people who were like real people engage in real relationships and real community. You know what I mean? Or maybe not to say real versus fake, but higher level energy, a higher frequency, because that's just a whole different, just like a whole different way of engaging with the world, you know? And I think that you've been playing puppet and puppeteer, wishing that you didn't have to do that, but holding on to it because you're too afraid to let it go, and everyone feeling triggered by it to the point where there's just this massive, like, all right, you know, like out, like, just kidding. Like this is ridiculous, and if associating myself with you means associating myself with low level energy, then like, no thank you. You know? And again, just this idea of like, but you know what you've prayed for, you know what you've worked for, you know, like what you envision for your life. I just feel like you're like, when I think about what I want, I want a new community that allows for, I just feel like a broader community. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, you can just like go anywhere, and you can like, people are so, one of my dad's favorite games when I was growing up would be What's Their Story? And so we would go out to eat all the time, and at every time we would sit at a table, and Dad would always be like, what's their story? What's their story? Right? And so you'd create a story about these people. He basically raised me playing profiling games. but it wasn't a racial profiling. It was just like a person profiling, psychoanalyzing everyone around you constantly. What are they wearing? How do they wear their hair? How do they, like, what's their hygiene like? How do they chew? Like, how do, you know what I mean? Like, you just like, so you can really like, and people are so very easily herded in any one type of area or one type of stereotype or group that, you know, like you can very easily distinguish people, whether it's by their clothes or um, by the cars they drive or by the language that they use or, you know, like the music that they listen to. It's just like, you know, people are very easily categorized. And I just kind of get the feeling that it's like this idea of like you can go from being in a category of a you know, like you fit in this category to being in it. And again, that's that low level energy versus that high level energy, because when you're in a higher level of energy, you find that there's a lot more diversity in the community that you keep. You know what I mean? Like you have people who are in all these different arenas and you have this larger sense of community. And like people who engage in those lower level, like box ready type of communities, you know, like that's a small life, small mind, small world. They're petty, they manipulate, they tear each other down, they set people up, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh. And I feel like there's somebody you've been dealing with who's just like, no, you know what? Not my life, not my jam. Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, trepidation, just feeling like, you know, there's an end. I don't know if maybe you're just feeling a little nervous about changing directions, because this does feel like you're changing directions. You know, like you're kind of like heading on in a new direction towards what it is that you actually want, because you're not really wanting to do this right now. And you're feeling really triggered by it. I think enough so to maybe actually do something about it. And you're making a decision to move in this direction. Again, it can play out differently for all of you, you know. Take what resonates, leave the rest. These are general reads. King of Swords, Six of Cups, Strength. Well, I don't know, because I mean, the reality of it is if a relationship that you had with somebody came to an end, you know, if it was like one of those things where it's like, this is somebody you're friends with, this is somebody you're in a relationship with, and this person's just going to attack that person all the time to the point where it's like, I can't even be your friend. And I don't know why you would want to date somebody who attacks people that you like because they're so insecure because they can't stand in the same room as you. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, cool. You do you. And I think that there's just I don't know, just irritation is all I feel. Just irritated by everything, because it's like you're irritated that you're in that situation, or irritated that this person wouldn't just adhere to the nasty, you know, like if you really loved me, if you really wanted to be my friend, then that wouldn't matter. And it's like, well, sorry, you know, like obviously you don't love yourself very much, and I do love myself, and, you know, like, because I love myself, I'm not going to put myself in those situations on behalf of somebody who's also going to put me in those situations, you know, like, I don't know. I just think about my one friend, you know, and it's like, I won't even go out with you anymore, but like, I'll go with you to laundromat and hang out with you for a little bit, and then you can go do your life and I'll go do my life, but at no point in time will I ever interact with your life. You know what I mean? And that's what that feels like. And I feel like somebody doing that to you and you being irritated because you like you just want them to do what you want them to do, and them being irritated because what the actual fuck, and that person being irritated because, oh my God, I'm insecure. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, there's just like, there's so much irritation in this energy. I'm ready for this read to be over, but I think that you're finding the strength to leave the lack behind, because it's lack. It, like, literally, it's just lack. You're just clinging to lack. And maybe you just needed somebody to kind of piss you off and be like, cool. Sure. You know what I mean? You know, but I will at no point in time engage with it, you know? And you needing to really muster the strength to make a decision to walk away from all of the lack and stop creating these battles, because on God, you're creating it. Do you know what I mean? Like you are the only connecting point in all of this drama. You know, like, I just feel like, and you're the one who's perpetuating it. And I think that this person knows, like, literally, you're just going to perpetuate drama. Like, you're literally just a drama queen. You know what I mean? Gender neutral, but it's just kind of like you feed off of it because you're an energy vampire, you know? And like, if you don't see that, if you see that in them, but you don't see that in yourself, and then you want to look at me like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just do this? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, for that reason alone. No worries there. You know what I mean? That is enough reason for me. Gems, the box. It does. I just feel like it got out of control. I don't know, like, maybe it's something that you've dealt with on numerous occasions with numerous people, where you just, like, there's a part of your life that you let take over to, like, in the name of association, to I want to say feed your own ego, but, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest. But it does feel a bit like, well, these people, you know, like, they listen to me, you know, like, I can do no wrong to them. Very extreme. Oh, I'm up on their pedestal. But then the second that you do anything that actually involves growing and living life, you know, like, you get further stuck in these boxes, because you're the one who's like, I need you to feed my ego, because that's all they're doing. You know what I mean? And you're clinging to it like it's your, you know, like, that's my whatever, you know, that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend, those are my friends. And it's like, cool, you know, like, your shit sucks. So the shoe fits, wear it, I guess. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like the creator, the heart. I really do think that you're making a decision because you're irritated. Like, you're like, I'm just so irritated. And it's like, well, then stop doing things that irritate yourself, because nobody else, I think, is really putting a whole lot of thought or energy into this. You're the one who's setting yourself up to be dragged through the drama. And you know what I mean? And like, you're going to keep doing that. And it doesn't matter who comes by, you're still going to be stuck in that same drama. You're not getting out of that box. That box just is going to keep on keeping on getting smaller. You know what I mean? And if that's how you want to live your life, cool. You know what I mean? But like, I think that I feel like somebody like questioned your intelligence about it a little bit, honestly, because it's like, I'm sorry, what? Like, really and truly though, you know, gems are so smart. And I just feel like sometimes the biggest way that you can piss a gem off is to make them feel like you think that they're not smart. But it's like, well, don't do dumb shit and people won't act like that. You know what I mean? And you're pissed because that's like a sensitive point for you, and you're pissed because you know that it's true, and you're pissed because they won't believe your lie anymore, and you're pissed because you can't believe their lie anymore, because that means you have to deal with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's taken a lot of strength to have to face your fears, but if you're not irritated, to just finally do something about it. Gems, 23 minutes, holy shit. I'm sorry this is such a long read. I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this video does resonate, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.